Niner Empire, what's going on? Cam Rogers coming at you for the 49ers report on this Sunday afternoon. Plenty of rumors to get through as training camp is upon us. We'll start things off with George Kittle. Is he going to be a star tight end in the NFL next year? Two Jetheads on this one, firmly in the rumor category. The buzz continues for Kittle here. ESPN is now on board. They're saying that Kittle will be a star player next season. Now, Kittle finished his rookie campaign with 43 receptions for 515 yards and 2 touchdowns after winning a starting job right away. Now, he's got great ability as both a pass catcher and blocker, which I think fits perfectly in the Kyle Shanahan offense. The major knock on Kittle is the injury. So we're talking about hip, ankle, chest, elbow, back, leg injuries. Any body part you point to probably has been injured by George Kittle. So that's kind of the issue with him. Now, another thing to point to, his snap count steadily decreased last season due to the emergence of Mr. Garrett Selleck. So George Kittle is going to have to fight off Selleck for some snap counts next season. And if you want to take an approach to Kyle Shanahan's offense, usually doesn't value tight ends as much as maybe the running backs out of the backfield. But still, George Kittle, a name to watch for San Francisco. All right, let's get to rumor number 2 on the list. Is there concern about Jimmy Garoppolo's long-term health? One Jethead on this one. Where is this coming from? Well, Colin Cowherd ranked his top 5 quarterbacks for this season, and he put Garoppolo at number 2, only behind Carson Wentz. Now, again, these are young quarterbacks, not necessarily the entire field of quarterbacks in the NFL. And a major caveat for Cowherd is the long-term health for Garoppolo. He pointed to the AC joint injury that happened when he was with New England, and then also noted his concern with San Francisco's offensive line and its ability to hold up in pass protection, along with the fact that he expects Garoppolo to throw the football 34, 35 times per game. And I have to respectfully disagree with Mr. Cowherd here. I think the 49ers really improved that offensive line with Richburg now in town. I think Cooper's going to be good at right guard. I think he beats out Garnett. You got McGlinchey at right tackle, and of course Staley, the stalwart, at left tackle. And I don't necessarily think Garoppolo is going to throw the football 34, 35 times a game. Kyle Shanahan likes to use running backs, yes, in the receiving game, but also just in a pure running back sense, running the football if it is effective. And I think it will be with that offensive line and Jerick McKinnon around in town. So reason to worry about Jimmy G's health? Not really. All right, how about the 49ers being poised for the postseason? So we're going to throw up 3 Jetheads on this one. Pretty faithful in it. I've talked about the postseason hopes for San Francisco many times on this show, and Niners Wire put out 5 reasons why the 49ers are ready for the postseason. And the one reason that really stuck out to me, guys, the new attitude in Santa Clara, in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. Because Jimmy Garoppolo, along with so many key additions such as McGlinchey and Cooper and McKinnon, are making this 49ers team totally fresh, totally new. But you know where a good team actually begins to be good? It's in between the ears, the mental game, not necessarily the X's and O's on the football field and an execution standpoint, which of course is important at the end of the day. You need your players to execute. But if you don't have that mentality, that feeling that you can go onto that football field and win a game week in and week out, then you're basically nothing. So having that mentality is ultra important. Now, will the 49ers make the postseason? Type 1 in the comments for yes. Type 2 for no. You're not quite sold just yet, but let me tell you this. That new attitude out there in California is going to change the complexion of the season for 2018, and San Francisco should be in the hunt for at least a wild card berth. All right, rumor number 4 on the list. How about the wide receiver competition? Is it worth watching for training camp? 3 Jetheads here. Very intriguing, especially at wide receiver number 3. So not necessarily slot, but right behind Marquise Goodwin and Pierre Garçon, who's going to win that wide receiver number 3 spot on the roster? Dante Pettis. Maybe it could be him. Aldrick Robinson. Maybe Kendrick Bourne. He's winning a lot of buzz out there out of camp. And Richie James has been impressive as well. So there's a lot of unknowns surrounding wide receiver after Garçon, Taylor, and Goodwin. So watch out for wide receiver because there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of ability, a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent too, but talent nonetheless. Now, what position battle are you zoning in on for training camp? Maybe it's guard, maybe it's edge rusher, maybe you're looking at the secondary. Be sure to let me know what you think. A lot of people are talking about Jimmy Ward. Where is he going to fit in to that scheme for San Francisco? All right, how about rumor number 5 here? The Hall of Fame won't even mention Terrell Owens by name. For Jed heads, it's a thing, guys. The Hall of Fame will not be acknowledging Terrell Owens at the ceremony in Canton, Ohio. Now, T.O. has, shall we say, stole some headlines for deciding not to go to the ceremony. That is why the committee, the Hall of Fame, will not be recognizing T.O. They'll actually be mailing his jacket the next day, so he won't even get the jacket at the same time as the other inductees. So kind of insult to injury there. Maybe a little bit of a zinger from the Hall of Fame. Of course, T.O. decided to host his own party at his alma mater, the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. So T.O. still trying to make the NFL comeback happen, by the way, and kind of, adding to some headlines by not going to the Hall of Fame. It's T.O. It's classic T.O. You got to love it. He's entertainment, folks. All right, next up on the list. Do the 49ers have the 26th best offensive arsenal in the NFL? Pretty close to fake news. One Jed head here. So where is this happening? All right, so ESPN released its rankings for offensive arsenals not incorporating the quarterback position. San Francisco checks in at number 26. They're ahead of the Seahawks at least, the Cowboys as well. And I understand San Francisco's talent pool may not be elite. We're not talking about, some other offenses out there such as a New England or a Pittsburgh. But at 26 overall, that just does not add up for me. Garçon is as good as they come in terms of pure hands and catch radius. Goodwin's a good spark plug. The tight ends are young and up and coming. I don't like this number. The 49ers should be a little higher than this. Now, of course, if they incorporated quarterback, the 49ers would definitely be higher than 26th overall. So, one jet head on that rumor there. And once I release my rankings about offenses and all that stuff, I'll have the 49ers way higher than 26th overall. All right, we'll get to our next rumor. Who could disappoint in 2018? I'll get to that name, but first, a word from our friends at Game Time.
Did you know that ticket prices can actually go down right before the game? That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time tracks ticket prices in real time from thousands of trusted sellers, then shows you all the best deals. So we can get tickets at the last minute for up to 60% off. Download Game Time now.
Okay, rumor number 7 on the list. Could Jonathan Cooper disappoint in 2018? This coming from Bleacher Report, firmly in the rumor category. We'll give it to Jedheads, and I'm not going to rule it out because there is the possibility that Garnett beats out Cooper, Cooper being a former first-round selection back in 2013 as well. Now, he did start 13 games for Dallas last year, but that MCL rehab is something that we are tracking here at the 49ers Report because, yeah, the indications are he'll be good for training camp, but it's still worth watching. Now, I personally think Cooper beats out Joshua Garnett, and he gets the right guard slot, so it's Lincoln, Tomlinson, and Cooper as your starting guards for Week 1 against Minnesota. But there's still the possibility that Cooper loses the battle, and if he does, considering the pedigree that he has, yes, it would be a disappointment. And Cooper, in terms of return on investment with that number 1 round selection there, yeah, his career has not panned out so far. So he's got to step it up for the 49ers here. I think he wins a starting gig there at right guard. That's my projected offensive line, which I think is pretty darn good all things considered, entering the offseason back in February when things are looking a little bleak. All right, let's get to the next rumor on the list. Will the 49ers add running back depth this offseason? I'm not going to rule it out. I'll give it to Jedheads. I don't think it's likely as we stand. I believe the 49ers still want to give Matt Breida and Joe Williams a fair shot at winning that running back number 2 slot there. Now, I am also not going to rule out the fact that they could sign Adrian Peterson, they could sign a Jamal Charles, a veteran running back, to kind of put some pressure on Breida and Joe Williams. And as you take a look at the depth chart here, I think it's Breida who gets that number 2 slot. Mostert makes the team as well because he's very valuable from a special teams perspective. And then Joe Williams could be the odd man out, guys. And I know there are a lot of Williams loyalists out there in the comments section on YouTube and Facebook, and I get it. Trust me, this guy's a lot of promise. But the latest reports out there are not indicating as much as we stand right now. So I'm just going off of what I'm hearing from other media members out there and from comments from other sources as well. So there you go. That's my projected running back depth chart. Will they add AD or Jamal Charles as we stand right now? No. But could they? Sure. Maybe an injury happens, what have you. All right, let's get to the final rumor on the list. How about this? Will Jimmy Garoppolo be the most compelling story of 2018 for the NFL, guys, not just the 49ers? 2 Jedheads on this one. Peter King had some major praise for Garoppolo, talking about how Jimmy had an upbringing with Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels in the film room, and how for some reason it's fate that Jimmy G got traded to San Francisco and to kind of save this franchise a little bit, which was down in the dumps at the beginning of 2017. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo is most certainly up to the task to take this team to the postseason. And he signed a major contract with San Francisco this past offseason, so the pressure is on. Now, whether he is the most compelling story of 2018, I think is firmly in the debate category, but he certainly is a story, and no doubt a story for the Bay Area and really for the national sphere here. So Garoppolo is a guy who could absolutely just change the trajectory of this 49ers team, along with Shanahan and John Lynch, the GM, as well. So a lot of exciting nuggets to kind of follow with the 49ers from a local perspective and a national media perspective.